One of the things I love about van life is meeting other van lifers and sharing van tours. I met Tim and Shannon while overnighting at a Cabela's parking lot, and while the backdrop isn't ideal and it is a little noisy, their van is definitely worth seeing. Their van features a front dinette with a Lagun table mount, a raised platform bed with bike trays underneath, a faucet with filtered water, 5 ways to cook, and a composting toilet Shannon designed and built herself. Now, after watching this video, I encourage you to head on over to their channel, Tim Shannon Ltd, to see an updated tour of my van and see if you can spot the changes I've made.
Hi there, I am Shannon.
And I'm Tim.
And we're a van life couple. We've been living in our van for 2 years, full time now, over 2 years.
2.5. We are living the dream. We have a YouTube channel and a website, and that's what we're called, Tim and Shannon, Living the Dream, or LTD. We have a 2018 Sprinter worker cargo van. It has a 170-inch wheelbase. It's the 2500, so it's 2-wheel drive, and it does not have dual wheels on the back.
So we're going to give you a tour of what it looks like. Come on in.
Okay. But before we go in, we have a fold-down table. This was an add-on. This was not part of the original build. But when you live in a van and you're outdoors a lot, it's nice to cook and spend time outside the van. And this is a great platform for our camp stove.
So my favorite thing about this van is the bed. And we bought the bed before we bought almost anything else because we knew we are going to be spending most of our time, well, a lot of our time in the bed. So this is an 8-inch mattress. It's a latex foam mattress, and it's from Plush Beds. It's wonderful. It is a little expensive, but when you're spending a lot of time there, you want to be comfortable, and it is. It's a queen size, and it fits perfectly with even some, I don't know if you can see from there, but on both sides we've got some extra room for storage. So we chose to sleep lengthwise because Tim, being as tall as he is, he's 5'9", could not stretch out going crossways here. So he's got plenty of foot room going this way, going lengthwise. Perfect. And then to get up onto the bed, we built this pantry. So it's actually a step stool, but also doubles as a pantry. So we keep our goods in there. And you step up on this. And that's how we get up into bed. We installed these reading lights, and they're super nice at night if you need a little extra light, and they're LED. So this is our bulkhead here, and then we cut out a door to give us some extra space for our dishes and stuff, pots and pans, and this extends back into the garage.
Over here we have our refrigerator. This is a chest style Dometic refrigerator, and it opens like that. We love this fridge. We built a platform to hold it up off the ground, and we've got storage underneath. And one of my favorite things in the van, you're never parked on a flat surface. And when you've got groceries on the counter because you're at the grocery store and you're trying to put them away and this thing is constantly closing on you, I got this little piece of aluminum. It's just flat aluminum stock, and I bent it in such a way that it will fold up out of the way and hold the fridge open, and then you can just pull and it closes. Another one of my favorite things is these overhead cabinets. We chose not to put doors on the front, partly to save weight, but also just because we didn't want another hassle of something in the way. And we got these fabric bins, and there's a little lip right here, so these won't slide off. You have to lift them up. And this is where we keep our clothing and things like that. And of course, here's more. We're always hanging things, so those are easy to access. But on our channel, we did a video showing how we built these. So you might want to check that out. They're super easy to make. And we have our sink with dirty dishes over here. We have a faucet that's a 3-way faucet. We have water filters under the counter. So this is filtered water. And then we have cold water, hot water. And we can pull this off, you know, and move it around and make a shower with it. We have a 23-gallon water tank in the garage for fresh water, and we have a pump for it right on the back side of the bulkhead. It's a 12-volt pump. We also have an accumulator tank to keep the water system pressurized so that the pump doesn't run all the time while you turn the faucet on. Underneath the sink, we have a spare 5 gallons of fresh water. We dip into this sometimes and then we refill it as necessary. We really haven't had to dip into that very often. We've been pretty good about keeping our water filled up. We also have a 5-gallon jug. This is our gray water, and we just have a plastic hose going into it with a loop, kind of like a trap under a normal sink. And we probably have to empty that thing every day
Or every other day.
But it's super simple and it works well, and we've been living in the van long enough that we know pretty well when it's getting full so that we don't overflow it anymore, because we've overflowed that many times. Another thing we're happy with our van is we don't have anything on the face of these drawers. We don't have drawer pulls sticking out that want to catch on pockets and things like that. We just cut these little notches in here so that we can pull open our drawers like that. And they look kind of cool the way we painted them. We've got the natural wood on the edge. One problem with this design, not the notches here, but the drawers we made, is that we go driving around a corner and they want to fly open all the time. And this got to be a real problem. So we came up with a super high-tech solution for that. These are 16D duplex nails with a bright finish. One day I got so frustrated with this, I got out my drill and I drilled a hole right through here all the way into the side of the drawer. And we take a duplex nail, and now the drawers don't open anymore.
We actually made the kitchen counter here to fit the microwave. At first I wasn't real excited about it. In fact, I thought, really, do we need a microwave? I mean, that seems like overkill. But now I am so glad that Tim talked me into it, because this we use every day and we have the power to use it. So it's just great. This down here was made for our countertop oven. However, that has since died. So now it does slide out. There's a Blackstone Griddle here. And then we just put some chips on top of it. In this drawer here is our Induction cooktop, along with some other bowls and such. This is where I sit most of the time. You know, I've got the table here, and it's a nice chair. It was built this way intentionally, and it's got a cushion on it. What it's hiding underneath is our composting toilet, and we have free plans on our website that you can take a look at on how to build this and the dimensions that we used. When I started, I had to think about sitting on a commode and how tall is this and how is this going to work? And it does. So inside here is a regular toilet seat, and then this is what they call a urine diverter, and we actually got this from Europe. There is some storage over here on the left side, so we've got toilet paper storage, you know, wipes and things, and then back here is wood shavings. We started out by using peat moss and found that that was not a sustainable choice. So We did some more research after people had commented on our channel and found out that wood shavings are perfect and they work. You can buy almost the size of a bale of hay, if you think about that, of wood shavings for $5. It's perfect. The urine goes into jugs, which we then, empty. Then we've got a bucket for the solids, which when we're done, we throw it away, throw it in the garbage. There's a fan in the back that helps with the odor, so it vents to the outside.
The table we have is basically just a sheet of plywood. It's mounted on a Lagun table mount, which if you've looked at many van tour videos, you probably know exactly what that is. But it swivels like this, and there's adjustments here so we can raise it up and down, and it turns like that. And it is always in the way. But we always push it and it's out of the way, so that's great. We put swivel seat adapters on each of our seats, the driver's seat and the passenger seat. And what happens with these is they raise the seat almost 2 inches from the original position, which when I'm facing forward, that's not a problem. Shannon has a little stool for her feet. We decided to build a permanent box down here, and we just have some storage down here for stuff, and that thing's wonderful. So now our feet are always comfortable, and we've got more places to put stuff. The first scary thing we did on the van was to cut holes in the side, and we installed these windows ourselves. We have video of Shannon with a jigsaw cutting through the sheet metal side of the van. It's one of my favorite video clips. Anyway, and so we got these. They're called motion windows. They're from Peninsula Glass in Vancouver, Washington. And they have a lock lever here, and they slide open. They have a screen as well that also slides. And they're pretty cool. And then we built this reveal or trim ring or whatever you call it. We have a video on how we did this, by the way, and I'm really happy with that. This is actually from a 4x4 piece of cedar that was cut on a bandsaw to give it that curve. And then the corner of it just fits on these pieces of wood here. And then the paneling we used is 1/4 inch tongue and groove cedar. It gave a real nice smell in the van for a couple of weeks before the smell faded, but it's pretty to look at. It's not the strongest stuff for mounting things on, so I don't know if I'd do that again, but that's what we did. Underneath that we have sheep's wool insulation we got from Havelock Wool. We did not put a vapor barrier in here, so a lot of people will put up a plastic sheet to keep moisture away from their insulation, but our research anyway told us that moisture's going to get behind there anyway, and then that moisture barrier is going to prevent that moisture from getting out. And our understanding is sheep's wool is a natural absorber of moisture when there's more moisture in the air, and then when the air dries out, it desorbs the moisture back into the air. And so we are super happy with the sheep's wool. We've never had any issues that we're aware of with mold or smells or moisture in here. So we're super happy with that. We also added a headliner shelf. This was not part of our original build either, but it became apparent we needed more storage, so we got this kit from VANcillary. The biggest part of that kit was a template for what shape to cut this piece of plywood in. We cut it once and it fit, and it was perfect, and it wasn't a big hassle to do. I did make a change on the back though, and there's a video on this on our channel too. But instead of putting the plywood back piece that he designed for it, I put an angled piece of aluminum and then I wrapped some pipe insulation around it, because I bang my head on it all the time, and so I'm really glad I went that extra step and put the pipe insulation. In the back of the van we have our garage, And like many garages, it's just full of junk. But one of our favorite things, we are very, as you can probably tell, we're in a very urban setting right now, so there's lots of road noise. Sorry for that. But one of our favorite parts of our garage is our mountain bike tray. We are very avid mountain bikers, and actually this tray is built large enough to have 4 bicycles on it. We have 2 more back at home, but we didn't bring the other 2 on this particular trip, and so this is our 2 mountain bikes, super heavy duty aluminum drawer slides on 450-pound sliders or 500-pound sliders, locking sliders. And it makes it so easy to get our bikes in and out. We liked this tray so much, we built another one. And this is our cargo tray. And it's just got all of our random garage stuff. And it's nice to have these stackable milk crates for keeping things in. We also, in addition to what Shannon was talking about for cooking, we have a propane stove and a oven. This is a new item that fits on top. We just tried it last week. We made a video actually, and this thing's pretty cool. And to power this and to power the Blackstone Griddle that Shannon just mentioned, something very important to us for propane is a refillable propane tank. So this is a 5-pound tank, and after the initial outlay to buy it, it is so inexpensive to get it refilled. But more important than that, for Shannon and me, we're not throwing those little cans away and sending them off to a landfill. We're reusing, and that's important. We also have a water heater. It is a 2.5-gallon heater. It's designed to be put in a house way far away from where the standard heater is, like a bedroom at the other end of the house. It's designed to lessen the weight you have for getting hot water at that faucet. But it fits perfectly in our van. It's about this big, and you can't really see it. It's forward of that. It's up forward on the shelf there. But that thing uses a lot of electricity, and so we turn it on and off as needed. The cool thing is, when it's got cold water in it and we turn it on, it only takes about 10 to 15 minutes, and we have piping hot water. But we need to make sure we got plenty of sun, or that we're plugged in, or that we're going to be driving that day, to make sure our batteries can handle that. On both of our back doors, we have these closet organizers that are from a home store. These are designed to hang over your closet door in your bedroom, and the hooks originally were facing the other direction, but we unscrewed them and put them on this side, and then I just drilled some holes and ran some sheet metal screws into the van, and now we've got these hooks just to hang coats and backpacks and things like that. Super easy project right there, and so helpful. Right here we have our water hose for filling our water tank. This is our fill nozzle for our water tank. We just unscrew that and put the hose in here, and the water goes through this pipe and down into our water tank. To keep the hose organized, we have these Velcro straps. They just unwrap like that. Where have these been all my life? We have one on our water hose. We have one on an extension cord here. We have one on our shore power cord. They have this nice heavy duty grommet. And then we've just got some S-hooks hanging from our bed frame. And we just kind of put that off to the side and hang it like that. Our electrical system is 4 100 amp hour lithium ion batteries, and they are charged by either the vehicle's alternator or from shore power if we plug in at an RV park or a campground or something like that. We also have an an adapter for that shore power cord, so it would plug in here, and with this we can plug into any household outlet. In addition to that, we have 4 100-watt solar panels on the roof, so 3 different ways to charge. And we've got a solar charge controller. We have a 3,000-watt inverter, so it changes the 12 volts to AC, and that's what powers our cooktop and our blender and our microwave and a bunch of stuff like that. We also have a couple of fishing poles here, and these are just hanging on these little Velcro straps. This is the 2-sided Velcro. And we just wrap it like that.
I love it.
And that's super handy stuff too. And right here under our bed, we have a humongous pan lid. For a pan that we don't use all that often. We certainly don't use this very often, but every once in a while we run back here and grab this.
Right.
We made our own bed frame, and it's made from old bed frames. These are metal bed frames that you would find on a twin bed or a full-size bed in a house, and we cut them, and we have 7 of these going across the van. We have 2 of them going lengthwise that these ones are bolted to, and then we just kind of made our own little IKEA style slat system. This is just some webbing you can buy at a hardware store, and we have wood slats sitting on metal bed frames, and that's how we made our bed platform. Our water tank has a recess so that it fits right over the wheel well in our van. And on top of the water tank, we just have a piece of plywood, and I put a aluminum angle piece on top to make it a shelf so that things would not slide off. But we tend to stack things pretty high on there, and things were falling off anyway, and so I got some bungee cord, and I tried making a real nice looking lattice. Luckily it's hidden inside the van so nobody ever sees it. 2 of our batteries sit on top of the wheel well, and the other 2 are in a plywood box on the floor forward of that wheel well. A lot of Sprinter vans, the rear doors will open 270 degrees. Ours will not. Ours only open 180, from closed 180 degrees to right here. And we have to pull this bracket off so that they'll open up, because otherwise it kind of locks in place right there. And if there's a breeze, this kind of holds it pretty well. But when it's here, there's nothing holding it, and a breeze always blows this shut, especially when we have our bike tray out, and then the door tends to bang into the tray. So we got some bungee cord. So we put one side here and one side there, and that keeps the door from blowing in the wind.
I really appreciate Shannon and Tim sharing their van with us, and as Tim mentioned, they have a number of videos on their channel, Tim Shannon Ltd, to help you build your van. If you'd like to see more van and rig tours, van life tips, and other information to help women get on the road, hit subscribe and ring that notification bell so you don't miss any upcoming videos. Your thoughtful comments really do help others find these videos, and if you'd like to join in deeper conversation, join our Facebook group, Gal Adventures. This is Joni with the Galavan. Enjoy your journey.